Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everybody? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris. Want to give a big ups to all of my subscribers who were able to tune in with me just for a little while. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded, and I haven't done any videos. I haven't been doing much content because I've been pretty busy doing some training. So now that I'm down, now that I have some downtime, thought it was imperative that I get back in a groove of things, and reach out to you guys. Let y'all know I'm still here. I'm still living. I still got some content that I have to catch up on. So I thank all of you for being so patient and so loyal, and still keeping in touch with me and hanging out with me as much as y'all can. So definitely want to thank all of y'all for still having my back and always support me. But I thought it was very imperative that I did this content because I noticed a lot of bloggers have been doing the content on this particular situation that's going on with Scottie Pippen and his current wife, Larsa. Now, for all of y'all who have been in the dark, what's up, Tony? Let me see. Damn thing here acting crazy. What's up, Tony? What's up, Simply D? Appreciate y'all for coming in. Um, Again, I haven't been doing no content because I've been training, and I had a lot of stuff that I had to catch up on and everything. But nevertheless, I am here. But I thought it was imperative that I brought this content to y'all today because I don't know if y'all been in the dark or if y'all been aware of the situation that's going on with Scottie Pippen right now. And basically what is going on with him is that he's in the middle of a really messy divorce that's about to go down between him and his current wife, Larsa. Now, for all of you who have been in the dark, a couple of months ago this year, Scottie Pippen originally was the one who filed for the divorce, okay, because his wife Larsa was call herself hanging out or being in the presence of the rapper Future. And of course, once the media got a hold of seeing Scottie Pippen's wife Larsa hanging out with Future in Miami, especially near his mansion, at his mansion. Once the media got a hold of that, they ran with it. They had a field day. So, of course, like any other man in that situation, he was really embarrassed to see that the media got a hold of his wife or his woman that's supposed to be his wife with the ring on her, with his ring on her finger, carrying his last name out with this rapper Future. So you could only imagine that I'm sure that bruised his ego. As a man, of course, yeah, Tony, she was cheating. Everybody knows that. And to this day, she still wants to go that we're just friends, we're still cool. But to me, I have a problem with that. To me, when you're a married woman, because I've been married for 19 years, anytime a married woman is out with another dude and her husband is nowhere around and y'all are not separated, y'all are not divorced, to me, that does not sit well with me. And if it's same thing, if you're a married man, if you're out hanging out with another woman and your wife isn't there, and your wife doesn't know nothing about it, something is wrong with that whole picture. If you are a married man or a married woman, you got no business hanging out with another single person and your spouse knows nothing about it, because it's common sense. You get yourself in situations like that, something is going to happen. Bottom line, you don't play with temptation. Do not try to um outsmart temptation, because you can't. Because once you put yourself in certain situations, you know the heat gets turned up and you're going to end up making a mistake. You're going to end up doing something you can't take back. So it's basic common sense. You don't hang around the opposite sex and your wife or your husband is not there. And to make matters worse, if they're not there, your wife or your husband does not know about this particular person. Because to me, that basically states that you have an agenda. It's something you're trying to do. It's something you got some malicious motive somewhere. So anyway, that's what got that. Pretty much, that's what got the fire ignited. When Scottie Pippen's wife, which is soon to be ex-wife, now Larsa, was caught out with rapper Future at his mansion in Miami. So that kind of started it from there. So what happened was, of course, it was brought to his attention, and he went ahead and he filed the divorce papers. And I can't blame him. At that point, his ego was bruised. He was embarrassed, and you could only imagine, being in that situation when you are a star and you are a celebrity, or you a person with high status, and the media gets a hold of your significant other. That's some embarrassing bullshit. It's really embarrassing, because you got people calling you, blowing up your phone, yo, man, you need to turn on the news. Do you see what your wife is doing? Yo, girl, you need to turn on the news. You know what your husband got caught doing? It's embarrassing when the whole world is witnessing you getting played. That is very embarrassing. And it definitely, it can do something to your self-esteem. So I could imagine what Scottie Pippen went through as a man, to find out, that his wife is hanging out with this rapper who already has a reputation of banging out chicks. And and if you're a fertile chick, you can get pregnant just by being around Future. And everybody knows that. So she definitely was way out of pocket. So of course he filed the divorce. And she panicked at the time, and whatever she told him, I don't know if she put it on him good. I don't know if she hooked him up with a BJ. I don't know what she did, but somehow she got him to change his mind. And he did not go through with the divorce. And I find that very surprisingly, because it just disturbs me when I see a man take disrespect off of his wife. Um, it's not a good look. It's not a good look when you see a man that tolerates so much disrespect and tolerates a woman, humiliating him in such a disgraceful manner in public, and he just overlooks it. And I'm just starting to notice it's a lot of men. Not all men are doing it. If it doesn't apply, you don't have to reply. But it's a lot of men that are becoming more and more acceptable to their women, to their wives, to their girlfriends, cheating on them, disrespecting them. And y'all wonder why we have these problems and why so many women are out of pocket, because it's a lot of men that are not being kings. They're allowing a lot of women to disrespect them, embarrass them. And it's one thing if this your baby mama or your girlfriend or side chick or whatever. But when you give a person the title as your wife, meaning you loved and you valued this woman enough to give her your last name, and for her to disrespect you publicly and disgrace you as a man, and for you to overlook that and just sweep it under the rug and say, okay, I'm gonna give you a pass, that speaks volumes. So Scottie Pippen being a full grown man, because he's 51 years old, and I think she's 44, 45, somewhere in that ballpark. But anyway, they've been married since 1997. She was 23, and he's a couple of years. I guess he was 30 around the time she was 23. So it's like a 5-6 year difference. But I'm just surprised him being an older man and an older black man that he would tolerate that level of disrespect. When the news first came to his attention that she was out there with Future at his mansion, it should not have been nothing she could have said to get him to change his mind. The ball was in his court right then when he caught her. Because when you're in a marriage and you have proof that your spouse or your significant other is cheating on you, you can use that against them in a divorce, and it gives you more of an advantage. But he allowed himself to fall into the phase of being a simp. He fell into simp phase. Now, I don't know if he gave in to his wife because maybe he was hoeing around himself. So maybe out of guilt, he like, okay, I'm gonna give you a collect 200 pass go. I'm gonna let you slide with that. I don't know what his reason was for allowing his wife to embarrass him in such a public, humiliating manner, and for him to just forget about it. So he caught the divorce off. Okay. So that's what happened. So they called themselves supposed to be working on the marriage, of course. And what happened was, in the process of that, she decided, I guess they had a rough night. They got into an argument, like couples do. They got into an argument, and she decided to call the police on him. Basically, she called the police and told the police that she was afraid of her husband, that she was threatened by him because he was acting very aggressive. Now, he didn't put his hands on her. He didn't box in the eye. There was no type of physical altercation, but she basically was fearful of him because he was acting aggressively. So she decided to call the police on him. Now, to me, it was a coincidence that she decided to call the police on him only a month or so, maybe a couple of weeks after he caught her with Future. So to me, it's already coming off to me as she was already setting up the stage. It seemed like the moment she got caught going out of pocket, she did just enough to get back in his good graces, just so she could set him back up and burn him again or whatever. So basically, the police was getting ready to come out there, and he somehow he got her to change her mind and drop the charges. So she told the police over the phone, don't worry about it, don't come again, this and that. And dispatcher says, well, I don't know if I could stop the police from calling because I already put it in, but whatever, if that's what you decide to do, I mean, you just got to let the police know when you get there. But whatever the case was, they resolved it at that time. Nobody went to jail. So whatever the case was, I guess they squashed the issue. The problem now, you would think after that they would have squashed everything and they could have moved forward. Well, come to find out, she turns around and she flips the script and she files for a divorce with him. Now, this is after he took her back. This is after he decided to take her back and work on their marriage. She turns around and then she files a divorce on him. Now, ain't that a bitch? She set him up for the okie dokie. So basically, now she's filing divorce on him. Okay. And the divorce is already in process. And when I tell you, she has no say she ain't giving no second thought. She's already back out there. She's already back out there on the red carpet, happy to be single, acting like she's living the best life. Because the bottom line was she only got back with him get in his good graces so she could turn around and flip the script and make him look like the bad guy. And that is what happened. And this is the reason why I'm doing this content, because I'm so tired of people using stereotypes. Whenever it comes to women being bitter, when it comes to women being evil, conniving, and malicious, it seems that it's always targeted mostly towards the black race, towards black women. We are the ones who catch the most heat every time a sister comes down hard on a brother, or there's some type of issues. You know, black women, we're given a lot of heat for getting out of pocket. But what a lot of men are not understanding is that when it comes to a woman being malicious, conniving, and grimy, it does not matter the color of her skin. A woman is a woman. When a female is ready to burn you, it don't matter if she's black, white, Puerto Rican, Asian. Every woman has some type of level of hood ratness in her. Now, keep in mind, this is a white woman, with all due respect, because that's what she is. This is a white woman who Scottie Pippen has been married to for 20 years. Now, to give y'all some background on the situation, I'm gonna just read from this website that I got some of this information from. Um, their marriage wasn't necessarily the prime example of a happy relationship, as the couple has had multiple issues over the years. Back in 2016, Scottie filed for divorce but decided to call it off last year. In case you didn't remember, just before Scottie filed for divorce, cops came to their home twice for domestic disturbance calls, although there were no reports of arrest. Larsa only told cops that Scottie scared her when he was acting aggressive towards her. When they filed in 2016, a rep for the couple, after careful consideration and 19 years together, Larsa and Scottie had each filed for desolation of their marriage. Although they are no longer to be married, Larsa remains hopeful that she and Scottie will do what's best for their children. Um, Anyway, moving forward, there were rumors found that Larsa and Future were reportedly dating, as the two had been seen celebrating his birthday at his party. This was before Larsa and Scottie called off the divorce. Larsa maintained that her and Future were just friends, and their friendship was not the reason the couple decided to initially divorce. So basically, as you can see, there was already pretty much trouble in paradise. Yeah, she called 911, fearing for her life when her and Scottie had a verbal altercation. It's already been a couple of problems. Not to state that Scottie Pippen was squeaky clean, because it's been alleged that he also was involved with a Sports Illustrated model days after rumors that Larsa was involved with hip hop artist Future. So as you can see, it's a lot of problems within the both of them. They were married for 20 years. Um, Basically, TMZ reported that the couple are now battling over their reported 50 million fortune. So, as you already know, she's definitely going to get bread from out this situation because they have children together. You know, she made sure she secured the bag when they were married. She had four children from him. So either way it goes, she's going to be set up for life. Now, keep in mind, Scottie Pippen has, I believe, I don't want to quote it incorrectly, but I believe he has two black baby mamas, and you wouldn't know nothing about him having other black children because he doesn't really talk about them. He doesn't really address them. You don't really hear much about his other children as you do from the kids that he had from his snow bunny. He really doesn't acknowledge his other children that he had from other black women. You know, so basically, Scottie is going to be way in over his head in a few minutes because what has happened is she done flipped the script on him, and you take a chance when you decide to stay with somebody who has already disgraced you or embarrassed you and played you. You stand a chance of them betraying you again, and that's exactly what she did. You know, as soon as he decided to take her back and work things out with her, It backfired. Now she's divorcing his ass. So I mean, he's going to be left in the doghouse. You know what I mean? So I'm sure this is not going to hurt him. But still, just that she's going to walk away with so much because of all the years he stayed with her and all of the children they had throughout the marriage. But this is my whole point. I'm not too much into celebrity gossip. I use the things that I hear about a lot of these celebrities to give y'all life lessons. This is the whole truth of the matter. This is why we do not need to have stereotypes when it comes to uh what type of people you need to watch out for, or what type of people you need to be cautious of. What men have to understand, when it comes to a woman, it does not matter her race, it does not matter her age. A woman is a woman. If she wants to be malicious and try to ruin you, she's going to do just that. So don't think you're playing it safe because you decide to cross over and get with another woman of a different race. Because the grass is not always greener. I have seen so many black men in the industry have gotten burned by women of other races. So you cannot just state, we cannot have the stereotype. I see it all the time. Every time I come on YouTube, I go to some of these male bloggers, I go to their content, and I hear them constantly going in on black women. Black women are evil, black women are vicious, black women are these hood rats, these hair-hatted heifers are trying to ruin you. They'll try to take you for everything you got. You got to be careful. All black women are gold diggers, and which this is true in many cases. I'm a black woman, so when I talk about black women, I'm also talking about myself. Black women, we all are screwed up in our own way. We all have issues. So I can't sit up here and ride on the bandwagon and not say that black women do not have issues, because we do. A lot of us are dysfunctional in our own way, and a lot of us have a lot of mental and emotional imbalances that we have to work on as women. This is true. Okay, I'm not doing this content because I want the brothers out there to sympathize with us as black women. It is not y'all job to sympathize with us. My thing is, I just don't want y'all being fooled into thinking that black women are the only women you need to be cautious of, that you need to watch your back on. Because what's starting to happen is women of all races, doesn't matter, like I said, what her ethnicity is. I don't care what woman you meet, you piss off, or you put her in a position where she feels trapped, or she feels like, you know, and like in Scottie Pippen's wife, like in her case, to use her as a situation, as an example. Once she saw that Scottie was going to divorce her, she was not about to sit back and allow him to divorce her. That way she could come out on the losing end, because he has proof. Okay, I seen you out on the town, you with this man, I know you dealing with him, you cheating on me with him. Because usually when it comes to divorces, if you could prove that that spouse was cheating, 9 times out of 10 there's more that works out in your favor. So what she did was, Larsa Pippen, Scottie Pippen's current wife, soon to be ex, she got smart and said, "Oh no, if he divorces me based on speculation that I cheated, I could possibly not hardly end up with much of anything." So I'm gonna have to find a way to get back in his good graces, because if he divorces me, I'm gonna be the one left on the losing end with nothing. Even though, granted, she was gonna always get something because they have their children together, she played it smart. And that's why I tell you guys, it's not just black women being evil. You got women of all races that are evil and sick and twisted in their own way. What's up, Julian Benton? Thank you for stepping in and hanging out with me this afternoon. Appreciate you. She thought she played him. She got in good with him so he could sympathize with her. Ain't no telling what she did. I don't know if she gave him something she did to convince him to work to keep the marriage. And I get it. When you've been with somebody for 20 years, you don't want to lose your marriage. You don't. You do not. I get it. I've been married almost 19 years. So I get it. Nobody wants to lose somebody you invested all your time, all your money, all your energy. I get that. But Sometimes when you try to give people the benefit of a doubt, ladies and gentlemen, instead of them using it to make good, some people get back in good with you just so they can betray you one more time. That's the sad part. Everybody does not have the best intentions when it comes to second chances. You got to know who and when. You got to know if you have to have enough wisdom to know when it's acceptable to take a chance on somebody. So I understand I can't really knock Scottie Pippen for wanting to try to make things work with his wife, but he should have been he should have been a lot more cautious. He should have gave us some time. He should have thought about it for a while longer instead of taking her back so quickly. He didn't give it no thought. He really ain't thought about it. And I think he just made a rash decision, and I guess, when it comes to divorce, as a man, when a woman mentions that, when you hear the word, when the D word, divorce, comes to your mind, it's like your life flashes before your eyes. You see half of your savings gone, you see your house gone, you see half of your cars gone. It's like it's almost like a near death experience when it comes to divorce, because that person is going to get half of everything that they didn't even help you work for. And this is the chance you take, ladies and gentlemen, when you marry somebody. Keep in mind that if you marry this person and y'all are together for a long time, y'all got children, y'all have property, y'all have all type of things that are invested. If things do not work out, there's a big probability that that person is going to walk away with half of everything that you worked your ass off for, that they didn't even have nothing to do with. So you have to use wisdom, knowledge, and common sense, ladies and gentlemen, because if you don't, it's going to come back to haunt you. If you're allowing your heart versus your common sense, if you're allowing your heart to make all the decisions for you, you're going to find yourself in a bad predicament. But basically, this is my point. She has filed the divorce on him now, and a lot of Scottie Pippen's friends and other people have came forward saying, he's really devastated. That she flipped the script on him, and he thinking they're going to try to work on their marriage and let bygones be bygones, especially when she was the one who was recently caught doing something out of alignment. He's feeling betrayed, and righteously so. He has every right to feel that way. Basically, this is what people have to understand. This is what men have to understand, and the reason why I'm addressing this content for the men today, because it's too many male commentators that are going on these channels talking reckless about black women, talking reckless about how conniving we could be, how malicious we could be, how we all are gold diggers, we only out for self, we always trying to get the highest bidder. But if you technically think about it, white women, they're the same way. They don't want white women, they don't want no broke brother. They don't want a man who ain't got no money. So what's different between a white woman who don't want a broke man and a black woman who don't want a broke man? Why a black woman got to be a gold digger? I don't. Maybe somebody could tell me something. Maybe it's something I'm not understanding, because I don't know too many white women that's gonna get with a brother who work at Pippen. I don't know too many that's going, especially these ones that, like in Scottie Pippen's wife, these Sophie wives, these ones that look like like carbon copies of Kim Kardashians. These Kardashian duplicated broads, that love to keep all these surgeries, love to get lip injections, you know what I mean? Because let's face it, white women alter their bodies too. It's not just a black woman thing. Black women are not the only ones being artificial and wearing artificial attributes, adding artificial features to themselves. It's not just black women that are doing it. Black women, we catch a lot of heat for being fake or being artificial, being with fake hair, with fake this and fake that. And black women, we get a lot of heat anytime we try to alter our bodies. But again, nobody says anything about these white women who go under the knife too. These white women, they get their Botox, they get their tans, why in ways black women are trying to be like white women by getting these long, straight European hair bundles. You got white women trying to be like black women by getting tans, trying to darken their skin because they feel like their skin is too pale or their skin is too light. You have white women that are paying faithfully to get tans every week just so they don't have to wear their pale white skin. So it goes both ways. And this is not, and I don't give this content because I'm trying to make black women look good. It's not about that. I'm not doing this content to make people sympathize with us as black women and say, oh, you just trying to get us to be on the black women team. No, you are allowed to have your own preference. You can like who you like, love who you love. There's nothing wrong with that. That my job is not to persuade anybody to change their mind. If you prefer to be with white women because you feel like they're easier, they're less complicated, that is your preference. Me as a woman, that is not my job to knock anybody who decides to date outside of their race. But what I'm trying to make people understand, it's a double standard. We need to get away from these stereotypes. There's no such thing as black women are in not stating that black women aren't troubled, because we are troubled. We are very troubled individuals, and a lot of us as black women, we have brought it upon ourselves. We have brought it upon ourselves. It has nothing to do with y'all other brothers. It has nothing to do with the white men. It has nothing to do with the white women. A lot of us as black women, a lot of us cannot get ahead because a lot of us have held our own selves back. We have sabotaged our own blessings. So it's no need in us pointing our fingers for where we have failed. But what a man has to realize, a woman is a woman. You piss her off, or she feels like you're going to put a fast one on her first, that goes for any woman. She gonna try to come after you. She gonna try to beat you to the punch. And that's what Scottie Pippen's wife did. Now keep in mind, when he met this woman, she was 23 and they've been together for 19, 20 years. Okay. And of course, if she's, I forgot her age, and I need to look at her age right quick because I want to make sure I have the age difference. But there's definitely I think a 5 or 6 year age difference. Yeah, Scottie Pippen is 51 and she's 42. Okay, so that's like a 9 year difference. Okay, 9 years different. So when she was 23, he was what? They're like 31, 32, somewhere around that ballpark. So when he picked her up, she was this young Kim Kardashian, you know, that 9 times out of 10 didn't have a whole lot going for herself. Now I do hear she has I think a bachelor's degree in some type of political arts or some bullshit. I don't know. But basically, he went after her because she was a Barbie doll, because she looked good, and he has been with other black women before. Because from my understanding, he has children from previous relationships with black women. Now, ironically, you never even hear about his black children. You never even hear about them. All you hear about is the mixed kids that he got from her. Now, I don't know. Well, I was Scott. Then again, Scottie Pippen ain't never been the type of guy in the media a whole lot, so that's probably why a lot of people are not aware. But basically, he got her young, and sometimes this is the thing, as a grown man, when you pick up these young women, okay, because in your mind you feel like you're getting older, and sometimes, as in some cases, as a man gets older, he don't want to be with a woman that's older or the same age. In some cases, some men, as they get older, the more younger they would prefer their potential mate to be, because you have some men, they don't want to deal with women their age, because for one, they feel like women their age are too set in their ways. It's too many women that are older women that are set in their ways. And not only that, they'd rather get a younger woman because they feel like they could program that younger woman and train her like a puppy, and conform her to be the way he wants her to be. Because with a grown woman, you can't do that. Once she's a certain age, she's not going to change. What's up, Jeremy? Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Julian says we really not black, but I do prefer copper skin. That's what I see when I look in the mirror. Yeah, I feel you, Julian. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, but yeah, when you pick up these young women, and because they look good, and because they youth reminds you of how young you used to be, keep in mind there's a lot of issues that come along with dating a woman that's younger than you, because it's a lot of stuff that she does not know, and you're going to have to train her on so many levels. My morning's going good, Jeremy. I'm just glad it's almost down to Friday. I got a cruise coming up in a couple of weeks, so I'm so looking forward to that because it is well needed. I had a really, really, really rough week that I don't feel like going into, so I'll pretty much give y'all the latest on how things been going with me at the academy. But other than that, everything's been going pretty good. I'm just glad the weekend is almost here, so I appreciate you for asking. But yeah, what you men have to understand, when you pick up these young women, there are a lot of work. You basically picking up another headache because you're picking up a girl who really doesn't know anything. And I don't care how voluptuous she is, she may be built like a woman, because a lot of times men let their eyes deceive them. Just because a woman is just because a female is shaped very womanly, that does not mean mentally she's a woman. You know, just because you meet a 19, 20-year-old girl and she looks like she's 27, 28, their brain is still gonna be her age. If you're dealing with it, for instance, if you're let's say you're a 35-year-old man, okay, and you meet a woman, a female that's 22, like 20, 19, 20, and she may look like she's 30, 31, because she's built very womanly and she has a womanly figure. The problem is her brain is not going to be womanly. It doesn't matter how voluptuous her body is. And if you are a man with common sense, if you're a man with wisdom and knowledge, you will know how young she is within 5 minutes of the conversation. But a lot of the times, some men, they overlook all of that because they become so consumed with the woman's physical attributes instead of her mental attributes. You have to, it's very imperative that if you're out there dating, you get to really know that person's learn that person's mentality versus looking at their physical attributes. I don't care how good they look. I don't care how nice her body is. I don't care how big her butt is. It does not matter. If you're dealing with somebody that's really young and lacks common sense of wisdom and knowledge, you're going to be very frustrated. You're going to be very miserable. Point in case, my mother had a particular male friend who used to be neighbors with her, and he was dating a woman maybe like 20, 25 years his senior. And I believe he's like 52, 53. And basically this girl is in her 30s. She's like 30, 31. Very young woman, very beautiful young woman. She's very attractive. Um, and you can tell he had to pull a lot of strings to get her because he's not a bad looking older guy, but you can look at him and her together and just know that she didn't just get with him basically on his looks, you know what I mean? Because 9 times out of 10, if you're going to deal with a younger woman, you're going to have something to bring to the table. Because young women can easily be deceived because they're more concerned with image. When you're young and dumb and you don't know no better, you'll look at what a guy has versus looking at what's in his heart. Because when you're young and you don't know no better, you don't know the right things to look for. So you can tell he was, he had an advantage. He was smart enough to know as an older man what he had to do to get her. But I tell you, he ended up being miserable with this young woman because she wouldn't cook, she wouldn't clean, and she kept breeding babies from him like roaches out of Mexico. Every year she kept getting pregnant. Every year. Every year she was getting pregnant. So mind you, being a 53, 54-year-old man, And you got grown kids and little kids, because when you're with a younger woman, she's very fertile. She's extremely fertile. So once you start having one child, by the time you look up, you've been to have 8 or 9 kids, because young women are very fertile, and they just are. They're very fertile. So uh he basically ended up being miserable, because he married her young, and what he thought was, being that she was young, he figured he had an advantage in the situation, because older women, you can't run, you can't run all kind of game on an older woman. You're gonna with an older woman, you're gonna have to come to the table with a lot. With younger females, you can kind of get away with murder. You can kind of get away with just buying her, paying for her hair to get done, paying for her nails to get done, and she's satisfied. The older woman ain't going for that mess. Yeah, you got some, Jeremy, but it's just not as bad compared to a female that's 2021. But yeah, you do have some women even in their middle 40s are very fertile. But when you're dealing with one that's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, Jeremy, they they're even more fertile. They're fertile to the second power, because a woman starts over as she approaches 40, her she's not producing as many eggs as much. That's why women, when they do get pregnant at 40, they have high risk pregnancies, because they tell you anytime you get pregnant over 35, you're is really it's risky at that point, because your body doesn't produce the same amount of things it needs to produce a child, compared to a 2021-year-old female. So yeah, I totally feel you. Yeah, exactly, Jeremy. Yeah. So when you pick up these young females, to all you men out there who are so attracted to these younger women, just realize that you're picking up a whole nother goddamn headache, because they don't know anything. And that's what happened with my mom's friend. He was miserable because he needed this young girl who he married to be about business. He needed her to be about business. He needed her to handle stuff for him, and that's expected. And that's expected. I mean, I'm married. There's times my husband needs me to handle business. He needs me to do stuff, and I got to go handle it. But at the same time, I'm not a little girl to where he got to get on me and tell me how to handle business, how to conduct business, because for the most part, I know what I'm doing. But when you're picking up a younger female and you just infatuated with how she looks and how great she is in the bedroom, when it boils down to it and you need her to be a woman, she's not going to know how to contribute that, because you picked up a child. And I don't mean a child as far as she 13, 14 years old. You could pick up a female that's of legal age. She could be 19, 20, 23, 24. But if she's young and she has little girlish tendencies, you're going to be miserable, because you're going to have to train her how to do everything, because she's not going to be concerned with business. She's going to be concerned with getting her hair done, her nails done. When can you take her to the mall? When you going to buy her convertible? You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with a young-minded female. You're going to get frustrated, because she cannot give you all of really what you need to help you be successful. And that's where you have to be careful at, guys, picking up these younger women. And that's what Scottie Pippen did. He picked up a woman who was young, and sometimes it seems like a big advantage, especially if you are an older man, you're well off, you make good money, you know, you're well established. You're not thinking at the time that it is going to come back and haunt you, because you figure you're going to always pretty much be set. What's up, Rep? Thank you for coming in. How you doing? Yeah, but I'm talking about Scottie Pippen betrayed by Snow Bunny ex-wife. For everybody who's just coming in, Scottie Pippen and his current wife, I forgot her name. Larsa. Yeah, Larsa Pippen and Scottie Pippen is in the process of a messy divorce right about now. And as I stated earlier, she got caught, at the rapper Future's mansion a couple of weeks back, and it pissed Scottie Pippen off. So he had filed for divorce and he was getting ready to leave her for good reason. What's up, Cool Gent 87? Thank you for stopping by. Welcome to Mocha's Cafe. Appreciate you. Um, and basically he was gonna end it, and she talked him into working on a marriage because they've been together 20 years, they got 4 kids. So I guess he gave it a second thought, like, no, I'm going to try to work on my marriage and everything. And sure enough, when he got back with her, now she done flip the script and she's filing for divorce. So now the divorce ain't even really started yet, and she already out there on the damn red carpets, happy to be single. She ain't got no ring on her finger. You could just tell she's relieved. She's relieved to leave him. I think at some point she was getting tired of him. I don't think she was tired of the lifestyle. I don't think she was tired of his money, but I think she was getting tired of him, because you got to realize they've been together 20 years. He got with this girl when she was 23 years old. When she was 23, he was damn near in his you know, early 30s, like 31, 32. So it's like a 9-year gap. And that's why I was stating, when you pick up somebody younger than you got to realize, as when you pick up a younger person, ladies and gentlemen, if you decide to get in a relationship with a younger person, keep in mind that as that younger person gets older, you get even more older. And that's the same thing for women. You have some women who specifically like to go after younger men, not keeping in mind that as a grown woman, as you get older, he's still getting younger. So you have to be very careful. You somebody in your 40s, and you in your 40s and 50s, you picking up somebody 20 in their 20s or early 30s, you taking a chance doing that, because when you picking up somebody young like that, they have not fully lived their lives. They not have done everything they wanted to do. You know what I mean? Scottie Pippen's wife, he picked up at 23 years old. So basically, she done got used to the lifestyle. She done got used to the cars. She done got used to the houses. Now, first, I'm sure when they first got together, all of that stuff was what she was probably head over heels with everything Scottie was doing for her, because she was young. She probably came from a family who didn't have a lot, but she claimed she always came from a family that was well off, so she never was really in a struggle like that. But still, when you young and somebody in the industry of Scottie Pippen's status is interested in you, what young woman is going to turn that down? What young woman is going to say, oh, I don't want him? You got this professional athlete that's damn near a millionaire, who's choosing you out of all the women he could have selected. Of course, you're going to take that opportunity. But what has happened, she's been with him so long, to the point she's tired of him. Because you got to realize, Scottie Pippen is getting older. As she gets older, he's getting even more older. So even if she may never verbalize it and say it, but she probably been fell out of love with him long time ago, because once she got used to the honey and the money, and she had to deal with the real Scottie Pippen behind closed doors, she probably started seeing sides of him to where she just didn't want to deal with his ass no more. Because when you deal with somebody older, that person acts like they're your mother or your father. Anybody who's been in a relationship with an older person will tell you, your companion at some point in time will start acting like they're your parent instead of your companion. That's the drawback about getting with somebody that is older. After a while, they will treat you like you are a child. And she probably got frustrated with that. Because he's getting older. So as Scottie's getting older, his mentality is changing, his mindset is changing. He probably don't have the same tolerance he used to have. And older people is just in their nature to be bossy. Older people are bossy by nature. That's why you have to be very careful when you decide to give somebody that's older, because they're naturally going to be trying to tell you what to do. They're naturally going to be trying to tell you how to handle, how to run your life. And if you're the type of person you don't want nobody running you and telling you what to do, you got to be very careful dealing with somebody that's older. Now, Rep says, they be trading each other in the entertainment industry. Rep, you ain't never lied about that, honey. It's like the Hollywood world is like musical chairs. Everybody switching up and getting with the same people. It's like the same circle in Hollywood. I won't be surprised as after this, Scottie may go and get another. He may get him another snow bunny. He may get one even younger now. That's probably what he's going to do. I bet Scottie Pippen is not going to learn his lesson. He's going to turn around and get another young tenderoni, probably one even younger. He's going to pick up another carbon copy of a Kim Kardashian. That's what he's going to do, because brothers in the industry, as we know, if it ain't light, white, it ain't right. Or this time, he may not even mess with a white or black woman. He may just go Asian. He may go Asian this time, because when brothers in the Hollywood world then got a taste of black and white women, usually they start going Asian. Then they'll go Asian or they'll go Latina. Then so he's gonna get something from a whole nother race now, y'all. I know it's coming. Jeremy, older women are jealous of younger men. Yep, and that's very true. And that unfortunately, Jeremy, that goes for anybody that's in a relationship. Older people, when they know they're dating somebody younger, by nature they're gonna automatically be jealous, because you have to deal with the fact that if you're dealing with somebody young people are still going to be attracted to young people. So you got to deal with the fact that if you're dating a young man or a young woman, they're still going to be checking out people that's still within their age range. And if you're an insecure man, if you're an insecure woman, for instance, if you're a full grown man, let's say you're 50 years old and you messing with a woman, or you with a woman that's 30 years old, I don't care how much money you give her. I don't care how much you let her borrow your Cadillac. I don't care how much you pay for her hair, doing her nails to get done. She's still going to be checking out men her age. That's a bottom line. She's still going to check out men her age, because she's still young and she has not fully lived her life as of yet. So she's not finished getting all of her immaturity out of her system. But what happens is you get these older people who think they can buy themselves. They think they could basically pay their way and getting their younger companion or their younger mate to do right by them. And it has nothing to do with right or wrong. When you're dealing with somebody young who has not finished exploring life, who has not finished doing all of what they want to do, and you want to try to lock them down and lock them in, and no, I don't want you going here. No, I don't want you going there. That's not going to work. If you don't want to deal what happened to train somebody, then you don't want to deal with somebody that's younger than you. Like for instance, I just turned 39 November 7th. I've never been the type of female. I've never been in the guys that's 10 years younger than me, 9 years younger than me. The most I could probably do if I wasn't married, I might could do a 2 year difference. But for the most part, I've never dealt with men younger than me because I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience. I don't have time to teach a man how to be a man. You already got to be a man for me to deal with you. I'm not about to deal with somebody I have to train and babysit. Now, keep in mind, even in a relationship, you both gonna have to train each other and teach each other things. Because my husband still had to groom me in areas, and I had to groom him, and that's fine to learn from one another. But there's a difference between learning from one another and having to train one another. When you get a younger woman or you get a younger man, be prepared to do some training. And then some of them are so stubborn, they're not going to let you train them. You get one of those younger women that's hard-headed and think all she got to do is look cute and wear tight stuff. She's not going to receive what you're telling her as her older man, as her older husband. She's going to buck you, because she's just going to feel like you being old and old-fashioned. That's the chance you take, ladies and gentlemen, when you deal with somebody younger. Um, Rev says it all boils down to the person's growth and mindset. And if you are dating a young woman, you have to take it as if that she's going to make mistakes. Absolutely, Rev. Absolutely. That's basically, you summed it all up for me. That is what I'm saying. If you're going to deal with somebody younger, be prepared that you're going to go through some changes. They are nowhere where they are not where they need to be mentally or spiritually. If you don't have the patience for it, don't go picking up some young woman thinking you can train her, you can program her, because I know some older men who intentionally will go after younger women and will only deal with younger women because they want somebody who they could program. But this is the catch 22 that a lot of people don't understand when it comes to dealing with younger females. You pick up a younger woman. At first, in the beginning, initially, she's going to do everything you say do. Initially. But as time goes on and she becomes older, her mindset is going to change. She's not going to be that same young girl you first met who you could get her to do whatever you wanted her to do. Eventually, she's going to grow up on you. And once that younger woman becomes an older woman and starts having her own mind, that's where it's going to get difficult for you, because when you met her, she was a woman who you was able to mold and train and program. And now that she's no longer that young woman you can mold, train, and program, now you find yourself stressing out even more trying to deal with her, because you want her to still have that little girl mindset. It's not going to work that way. And it's not just older men doing it, you got older women doing it. It's older women who love younger men, because men their age is already married and not going there with them. And some of these older women are too old up in their age to be a side chick. So what a lot of what's starting to happen is you have a lot of older women that are resorting to dating younger men. But the problem is, if he's a young man and he never had a chance to grow up and become a man, it's going to be like raising a son. It's going to be like having a son. And the same thing for you older men who go after these younger women. It's going to be like raising a daughter all over again. Now, I don't know if you're ready for that, to be raising another child, but that is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you pick up somebody that's younger than you. That's another child you have to help raise. If you got the patience for it, fine. But if you don't have the patience for it, you don't need to be dealing with somebody young, because it's going to become a headache. Um, Also, Jeremy said, also parents that come from the 70s, 80s for soul music are jealous of young hip hop generation. I think what I think with that, Jeremy, I think when it comes to the older generation being jealous of the younger generation, I think it's more so older people who have not done well for themselves that got a little hateration towards the young generation. Now, I think the older generation who have done well for themselves, who have retired from good careers, who own their own homes, who really well established. I don't think they hating too much on the younger generation. If there's any type of hateration, I think it's more so from the older folks who did not do well. And like, you may have, like, for instance, I'll give you an example. For instance, you have some older women who are hating on younger women. And I don't and for those older women who are hating on younger women, it's not the older women who are well off, who are married, who are established. They're not hating on younger women as much as these older single women who did not make the best of decisions with their lives, who got the four or five different baby daddies, um, who never been married, don't own, don't own nothing, don't have a pot to piss in or when to throw it out. They're the ones who more in particularly have hateration against the younger women, because what it is, they did not do all of what they could have done when they were younger, and when they see other young women in our generations doing it, that's where the hateration comes in at. So when it comes to the older women, I mean older generation having some type of hate, having some type of jealousy against the younger generation, it's more so the older ones who did not make good. I don't think that all older people are jealous of the younger generation. I just think a lot of the older generation is more so frustrated with the new generation, because we're doing things totally different from what they used to do, and then we're doing things backwards. Okay, back in the 70s and 80s, the families had structure. The man had a role, the woman had a role. We didn't have all of this chaos that we got going on today. People don't know their position. We have women trying to be men, we have men trying to be women. And I don't mean that just uh 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 you know sexual preference wise. I'm just saying role wise. You have women who trying to lead the households, as compared to back in the 70s and the 80s, the man always ran the house. and he didn't mind running the house. But we're in a generation now where you got a lot of men that are so lazy in this generation. You have a lot of men who don't want to be leaders. They rather let the woman lead because it takes the pressure off of them of having to be a man. And it's sad, but that's the type of generation we got. And it's not just the guys, that men that don't know their position. You got the women who don't know their position. You got women who don't know how to humble themselves, who do not know how to allow a man to be a man and respect his leadership authority and leadership abilities. So this is why there's so many single parent households, because it's a lot of men that cannot deal with women of today because women are not allowing men to lead. They want to do all the leading until when times get hard, or a woman feels like she's struggling too hard or she's struggling too much. Now she wants a man to step in and be a leader, but by then damage is already done. Um, see, oh, what's up, Sadia? Thank you for coming in, hon. It's good to see you. Why is it that men will be with their girl in public and stare at a female like she did something to him? And see, I'm trying to understand your question. Why that man would be with their girl? Something to him. I'm trying to. Can you kind of rephrase that for me, Sadia? I understand, but then I kind of don't understand. So just kind of rephrase that question for me, and I'll be glad to answer it. Sadia says that could be insecurities of, or the woman just might be beautiful and she knows it. So I'm assuming that you're wondering, like, um, how can a man be in public with his woman and still look at another female, but then you said like she did something to him. So I'm not sure if you're meaning like he's looking checking out other women while he's with his woman. I'm just trying to make sure I understand where you're coming from so I can answer your question correctly. um yeah, as I stated, this generation is just we're doing things totally backwards. And this is the reason why we have a lot of problems that we have, because people don't know their position, people don't know how to stay in their lane. Again, men is too many men today that are not being leaders. There was too many men today, they don't want to be kings. They don't want to hold down the house. You got some men who don't even want to work. That's how bad it has got. Like keep checking out another one. I just think Sadia, it just has. Okay, I get what you're saying now. I just think it just had. I just think that's just a man's nature. Men's nature are different from ours. A lot of the times, and I'm not saying this is the case with you, Sadia, a lot of times as women, we feel some type of way when sometimes we feel insignificant when our dude is checking out a female or looking at a female or showing some type of interest, even if y'all not out in public. You home and you catch your man on his smartphone and you see him looking at pictures of half naked women. As women, by nature, women, we're insecure by nature. We just are. We're insecure by nature. So when we see our dude checking out another female, even in public or behind closed doors, it does make us feel some type of way. But the reason we don't need to feel any type of way, because it's just that it doesn't mean just because your man is checking out somebody, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Doesn't mean that he's not happy with you. A lot of it has to just do with their nature is different from ours. It isn't. There's not going to be on a man on this planet 75 years old and who has been with the same woman all his life. It's not going to happen. Their nature is different from ours. So they're going to always have a wandering eye to a big degree. And a lot of times as women, so do we. We are just more low key with ours. I believe women, we check out just as much men as women. We check out just as much men as men be checking out women. It's just that we're more low key. We're more low key and we're more slick about it. We're not, we're going to play it off. You know what I mean? Men, on the other hand, they're not good at playing off. Women, we got such strong senses like pit bull. We will know if our man is getting ready to check out another female and she's like 5 blocks away before she even get there. We just be waiting for him to look. Okay, I already know she about 5 miles away. Soon as she come around this corner, I'ma peep in the corner of my eye, and I'ma see if he gonna watch her. I'ma see if he gonna check her out. I just think it's in their nature, and they're just more obvious as we are. But women, we do it too. We check out other men a lot ourselves. We're just more slick about it, and we're more low key. You know, men are a little bit more they're more evident with theirs. That's where it's different. Let me see once. Okay, okay, dokie, I'm back, y'all. I had a little call. Anyhow, yeah, as I was stating, yeah, I'm still here, y'all. I had a little call that buzzed in on me. But yeah, what's up, Seven? Thank you for stopping by. I know it's been a minute. I got a lot more free time on my hands now, Seven. So whenever you're ready to do another live, just holler at me because my schedule is open again or whatever. But yeah, as I was stating, y'all, when it comes to dealing with somebody that's younger, you have to realize it's a lot that comes with that territory. Picking up somebody that's younger, and you think you have an advantage because you older. And in Scottie Pippen's case, unfortunately, he picked up a female who was young, and then he picked up a female of a whole nother race. And like I said, I have nothing against anybody who dates outside of their race. My problem is when we want to place emphasis on certain races, when we want to say all black women are evil, or all black men ain't no good, or all black women just want a man with money. What woman don't want a man with money? Do you think a white woman don't want a man with money? You telling me it's not any white gold diggers out here? So you mean to tell me a Kim Kardashian type of female is going to pick up a brother that work at Popeyes? I mean, that's any woman. That's all women. It's not just black women. No woman wants a broke man. especially a white woman, especially if that white woman comes from a family that's well off and her daddy is a judge or a lawyer and her mother is a real estate broker and she's come from a family that's real estate. She's not checking for you. So why is it okay for a black woman? Why is it okay for a white woman to have standards, but if a black woman has those same type of standards, we up to no good. A woman is a woman. It has nothing to do with black woman, white woman, Asian woman. You piss a white woman off, she gonna burn you just as bad as pissing off a black woman. Any woman you meet, you get on her bad side, you piss off, you make her mad, she gonna give you run for your money. This is not just a black woman or white woman thing. A woman is a woman. So people, these bloggers need to stop educating us as black people about how we're not good for one another. I got a problem with these black men commentators who are always dogging black women. Now, keep in mind, I don't cut the sisters no mercy on my content either. I be going in on the sisters on my content. And anybody who's been with me, rocking with my channel for a while, knows that. Okay. But I also go in on the brothers. I don't show no favoritism here on my channel. So my thing is, as I did talk with him for 10 minutes. Oh, you did? Oh, okay, that's cool. 7. Yeah. But same thing, we got these black female commentators that come on YouTube dogging the brothers. Yeah, that's what he get for messing with that white woman. Yeah, that's what he get. What people have to understand is people need to stop placing emphasis on race, emphasis on color. It's all about meeting, it's all about connecting with the person that's going to mean you well. That's going to mean you well. It has nothing to do with that. We placing too many emphasis on certain colors and on certain genders. What I notice is when it comes to white folks, they don't be downing each other as much as we do as black folks. I've never heard a white woman say all white men ain't this and they ain't that. All white men are dogs. I've never heard white women drag their men as much as I have heard black women drag their men. I've never heard white men drag their white women as much as black men drag their black women. I do not get it. This is an issue within our race. And as much as we want to point at everything and everyone else about what we go through as a people, a lot of it we bring upon ourselves because of what we do to one another. That's what it boils down to. And the same thing. A lot of people think crossing over just because you get with another race is going to be easier. Oh, white women don't do this like black women do. Or white men take care of they white women better than black men. That have nothing to do with it. I have seen some grimy but white sisters, white women do some really jacked up stuff. And Scottie Pippen wife is a prime example. So if he thought crossing over and not dealing with sisters was going to make his life easier, well, he found out today that the grass is not greener. She disrespected him by being caught with a rapper. He decides to be with her and take her back and work on the marriage after he done caught her, after he was publicly humiliated as a man, because I know that bruised his ego for your wife to be at Future's mansion. He decided to work on his marriage to get back with her, and then she turns around and files a divorce on him. Like, really? But that's what I'm saying. Had she been a black woman, she would have been scorned for that. And even though she did that, she still ain't catching the heat the way a sister would catch that heat. Had a sister, had a black woman did what Scottie Pippen's ex-wife did, that sister would have been ridiculed, and y'all know it. I still feel like his snow bunny is getting a slap on the wrist. That nobody's not going in on her as they would go in on her as if she were a sister. And that's just the bottom line. It's not the grass ain't always greener.
It's got nothing to do with, well, I need to date more foreign women. I need to date more a woman to woman. You got some grimy foreign women. You got some grimy foreign men. You got sisters who they want to cross over and date white men. Okay, I get it. I don't knock your preference. But this is my problem with interracial dating. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't have a problem with people dating outside of their race. I don't want anybody in here to think that I'm being a ivory, ebony, and ivory hater, because I'm not. My problem is when you get with other races and you want to down your race. That's my problem. If white women, if as a black man, if white women are your thing, congratulations. I can respect that. But don't sit up here and knock black women because of your white queen, because of your white princess. You ain't got to go around here dogging us and speaking bad on us and calling us all kind of names. You got your white wife and you happy. She's treating you great and she's making you feel like a king. Then kudos to you. You don't have to come on these blogs and chew us out. See, that's why I don't F with black women. Every time there's a story about a black woman, you want to go in on this black woman because you have your white woman. I don't think that's cool. And same thing with black women. If you got you a white man or a white husband, you don't need to be dogging. You don't need to be speaking ill of these black men. You don't need to be talking reckless about them. Oh, that's why I don't F with black men. Oh, that's why I only date outside my race. Okay, that's fine. Do you? But you don't have to talk reckless about the other black men. These other black men don't know. You don't know these other black men personally. They be grouping all them together just because you had one bad negative experience. And black people, we are prone for doing that. We can take one bad negative experience that we had with somebody in our race and we want to apply that to everybody. Just because you keep picking up sorry black women because you're going after how she look, you keep ending up with trifling black women. You don't need to group all of us in that same category if that is all you kept attracting, because all black women don't fit into the same category. And I tell my sisters the same thing. Don't go around here talking reckless about all black men are dogs, all black men ain't no good, all black men ain't this, all black. No, all black men ain't the same. You keep picking the same black men. That's what it boils down to. We want to dog each other based on our poor life decisions as to what type of companions we chose to pick up, we chose to be with, you know? And so a lot of us, until we learn to take accountability, we're gonna keep placing blame on each other, on other races. It's gonna always be somebody else's fault. It's gonna always be the black man fault, the white man fault. It's gonna always be somebody else's fault until you learn that a lot of the times you have to make better decisions with who you choose to be with. And don't go taking it out on everybody else just because you didn't make a good decision. You didn't make a good choice. Don't go around here labeling everybody based on your poor decision because you don't know how to pick a companion, or you're more concerned with somebody's image than their mentality. I don't care how good somebody looks. If we can't connect mentally and spiritually, then I don't care if you're black or white. I don't want nothing to do with you. We have to be on the same wavelength mentally and spiritually. There's too many people that are just hooking up, and they are hooking up for the wrong reasons. And a lot of it has to do with sex has messed up a lot of people. Sex has clouded a lot of people's judgment. A lot of people has had poor judgment based on sex because you're so consumed with how that person is feeding you sexually that you're not focusing on how that person is feeding you mentally, how that first person is feeding you spiritually and emotionally. That's what you need to focus on. But when we allow our genitals, you allow your hormones to get in the way of your common sense, you will find yourself connecting to the wrong type of people. So that's why it's very important, ladies and gentlemen, that we don't get caught up in the hype of skin color. We need to stop talking about all black women is this and all black men is this. Well, see, one thing about white women don't do this. See, one thing about white men don't do this. But you don't know what somebody does. Everybody has problems. I don't care who you be with. It's going to be something you love about them, and it's going to be something you can't stand about them. Because none of us are perfect. We all got flaws. We all got issues. We all have baggage. So we need to get rid of the stereotypes, y'all. We need to get rid of the labels. Let's get rid of these labels. The black men need to stop dragging the black sisters. Stop talking reckless about your black women. Black women, stop talking reckless about these black kings. We need to stop doing that. Stop placing labels and stereotypes and grouping one another because it is not fair. We all put one another at a disadvantage when we do stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, I definitely would like to go on more about this content, and I might do another live tonight. I might come in again tonight and do one at 8 or 9 o'clock. So definitely, I thank all of you for stopping by and hanging out with me, chatting with me this evening. Like I said, I've had a long week. I'm sure just like myself, all of you are looking forward to the weekend. Y'all looking forward to relaxing. Y'all looking forward to that moment to woosah. And definitely, I am there with you. Okay. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get ready to wrap it up. I think most likely I'm going to do a live at 8 or 9 o'clock. Either way, I will keep y'all posted. Make sure you hit the notification bell so whenever I go live, you do not miss out on any of the content. Because tonight, I believe tonight most likely I'm going to do a free for all. So if you have any questions you want to ask me about relationships, about family, it's going to be all about you. Whatever advice, anything you want to ask me, I'm going to be more than happy to answer whatever questions y'all need to ask. Okay. So tonight I'm going to do a live probably about 8 or 9ish. It's going to be a free for all. You can ask me anything. We could talk about anything. No holds bars. I don't care what it is. You know what I mean? So make sure y'all tune in tonight. But on that note, I want to thank all of y'all for stopping by, tuning in, and rocking out with your girl, Lady Mocha here at Mocha's Cafe de Paris. Remember, I'm going to always pour a cup of truth and break you off a slice of knowledge. I hope I see all of you tonight. Take care.